Hey, Shabbat Shalom, my friends. How are we, the Jewish people, supposed to continue to be an Or LaGoyim, a light amongst the nations, when so many nations and universities and presidents seem to be looking down on us morally for what Israel is doing in Gaza and against Lebanon? How are we supposed to inspire the world and fulfill our task? God says we're supposed to be a light amongst the nations, but the nations think we're doing something terrible and evil. So I have one answer to that. And that is something that we learn in this week's Parsha. Because Abraham is sitting in front of his tent, and God reveals himself in the plains of Mamre. And the rabbis ask, why is Mamre mentioned in this week's Parsha? Because to give a little pat on his back, because he was the one that gave Abraham the advice to go forward with the bris, with the circumcision. So he gets his name mentioned. But what is Abraham doing asking advice from others as to whether he should fulfill God's command? This is Avram, the knight of faith. God says jump. Avram says how high? What is he doing asking friends or colleagues if he should listen to God? And the Sakachava Rebbe and the Avnei Nezer, great Hasidic masters, said because Avram was confused. He wasn't lacking faith. He was confused because he was being told that the covenant, the bris that he was supposed to enter into, was particularistic. It was just between God and the Jewish people. Right? We don't try to get other people to circumcise their children. It's for the Jewish people. But God had also told Avram to change his name. And what was the significance of the name change? Ki av hamon goyim nesaticha, the Torah says. Because I want you, says God, to be the spiritual father, not just of where you come from, not just of the Jewish people, but of the multitude of nations. I want you to bring Torah to all of mankind. Right? We don't try to get all mankind to keep Shabbos and to keep the bris, but the basic values of the ethical monotheism are not supposed to just be for the Jewish people. It's supposed to be for the whole world. But I come back to my question then. How can we do that in an age where so much of the world seems to be condemning the Jew, condemning the Jewish state for what we're doing? Right? We think we're correct. And my answer to this is, number one, we're not the only ones who think we're correct. We have a lot of friends. They're just not terribly vocal. Our enemies make a lot of noise. And the people who condemn us morally and ethically also like to make a lot of noise. But they're not everyone. But even to those, I would say, here's where we need to be an Or LaGoyim. What does it mean to be a light amongst the nations? It doesn't mean to mimic the values that already exist in the world that others are giving. It means to give over what's uniquely Jewish, what is part of our divine mandate and our ethics and our values that we derive from the Torah. And what is one of those values? To defend yourself. What Israel and what the IDF is doing is 100% defensible, justifiable, moral, ethically upright. We know this because we follow the Torah. And those who have forgotten their way, and those who somehow have become upside down in their philosophy and accusing the people subject to genocide and apartheid and ethnic cleansing, and accusing the Jewish people of doing those very same things, we have to demonstrate how it's not the case. It's not true, and those are not proper Torah values. Right now is the time for us to truly double down on being an Or LaGoyim, on being a light amongst the nations, on embracing those who are supporting Israel and arguing vehemently against those who don't. And not simply on strategic, technical grounds, but on ethical, moral grounds. We are the people of the book. We are to be teachers of the world when it comes to ethics and morality. Let's not stop now. This is precisely when the world needs to hear what the Torah has to say. Shabbat Shalom. Hey, please like and subscribe so we can get these really important videos out to a larger audience. Thank you.